Welcome back to the channel, Legendary Legacy, audiobook free daily, where you can enjoy the best books without spending a penny. Today, we will continue with the book, Thick Face, Black Heart by author Chin-Ning Chu. This is a book that teaches you how to apply the ancient wisdom of Asian philosophy and strategy to achieve success in business and life. We will proceed with Episode 4, Dharma and Destiny. The episodes of the channel are published on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast and other podcast platforms. You can search for our channel by typing Legendary Legacy, audiobook free daily into the search bar. Please support our channel by liking, commenting and subscribing so that we have more motivation to produce more audiobook episodes with the best and latest quality. Thank you for listening and have a nice day. Destiny waits to unfold. Many teachers preach that you must do what you love, then you will be very good at your job. This is only part of the story. Most people have not reached a clear state of realizing exactly what they love to do and what they are good at. These people need to go through a period of discovery. The familiar question, what do you want to do when you grow up, is not an easy question to answer, even for adults of any age. If you feel you are stuck in your work right now, whatever it is, keep on doing it with dedication and devotion. You were not placed in that position entirely by accident. There are lessons there for you to learn. Your total commitment to your present work and the experience you accumulate can serve as a springboard for the unfolding of your greater destiny. Take me for example. I had been a consultant for U.S. companies and individuals who were doing or wished to do business with Asians. I liked my work but always felt there was something missing, yet I performed my work faithfully. Only by doing so was I able to discover what was missing in my work, the satisfaction I could gain from my ability to reach large numbers of people and inspire their thinking. By continuing to perform my work and through my experience of doing business with Asians, I realized there was a need for Americans to understand in depth the Asian mind in their business dealings. It was then I saw the way to reach and inspire large numbers of people would be through writing a book about this very issue. Accordingly, I wrote about the Asian mind set in business dealings with Westerners. The success of the book led to great personal satisfaction. I went on to write more books expanding the topic. Years later, I realized I did not have to write only about Asian business strategies. There was an abundance of rich wisdom from the Orient I could communicate to Western readers. It was due to this realization that you are now reading Thick Face, Black Heart. The most amazing thing about this is that I had totally forgotten that I had always been passionate about writing. I had written many short stories when I was in 7th grade and many of them appeared in student publications. By 8th grade, I felt ready to write a long Chinese novel. I spent every moment I could writing and finished the novel in one semester. I have no idea what was taught during that time. My grades suffered severely as a result of my obsession, but I didn't care. My reality existed only in the characters I created for my book. The rest of the world seemed to be covered by a haze of unreality. When I finished, having no idea how to get a novel published, I sent my only manuscript to the top newspaper editor in Taiwan. The editor returned my manuscript with a very kind letter. I felt so embarrassed at having been rejected, I threw it into the school trash dump and never wrote again. Finally, 25 years later, I am back to writing again. The circle has come full course. By simply being aware that there is a divine plan for your life that awaits to unfold in the course of life itself, you will begin to be consciously in tune with every incident that comes into your professional and personal life. Treat each incident with the eye of a good detective and try to unveil the mystery of your fate. This is the first and the most essential dharma in discovering your destiny and your life path. Occupation in Dharma. To answer the most asked question, how can I find out what kind of occupation is best suited for me, examine the following list. 1. While performing your present duties, utilize Thick Face, black heart and strive to seek in your mind and in your soul the vocation that will satisfy you both spiritually and materially. The key here is, while performing your present duty, because most of us don't have the luxury to quit our work and go out searching for ourselves for an indefinite period. Furthermore, your very station in life is often the best place to provide answers to your life's unanswered questions. 2. Give everything you've got to the job that you are doing. By doing so you will feel good about yourself. Maybe your job is unimportant, but your effort and dedication will uplift you and give you greater daily satisfaction. In turn, that satisfaction will work as your anchor for greater accomplishments. 3. By diligently performing your duty, you may shorten the time it will take to learn whatever lessons await you from working in that position. Life may then more quickly reveal your next stage of progress. This could be a promotion to a position that is more suited to the grand design of your life's objectives. Or perhaps you will perform your job so well that you become a threat to your immediate superior, so you get fired. If the latter happens, then you know for sure the universe is saying, you have stayed too long on this job, and something better awaits you now. You may gain so much self-esteem and self-confidence that you see you have no need of that job and you will quickly take a better one. A better offer might come to you out of nowhere. In any case, the result is you will create movement in your life that will lead you to the next level. 4. Do not get discouraged. Know that everything you ever learn from life is not wasted, even simple tasks such as learning how to index or file documents. One day when you discover your intended occupation, you will realize why you were put into those meaningless jobs. There is a reason for everything, even if it is not clear at the time. 5. Follow the above dharma. Life cannot withhold from you what is rightfully yours. 6. Patience is the greatest virtue. Give life time. Dharma of acceptance and surrender. The opportunity for victory is provided by the enemy. Sun Tzu's Art of War. Once a good commander has fully utilized all his facilities to win the battle, then he awaits the opportunity for victory to be provided by his enemy. In life's battle, once you have done everything within your power to realize your life's vision, all that remains to be done is graciously to accept the outcome and proceed. A good friend of mine has often said, "I'd rather be lucky than smart." However, luck is not something you can always depend upon. It is smart to understand the dharma of acceptance and benefit from it. I learned this through first-hand experience. All my life I have always been a champion of self-effort. Sometimes my self-effort paid off and other times the result was meager, but nothing impacted and changed me so fundamentally as the occurrence of a recent event. When I was writing my last book, I had done everything right. I worked overtime to get my finished work to the publisher on time. I had successfully obtained an endorsement from the Texas oil man, T. Boone Pickens Jr., in addition to one from an editor of USA Today. The book was scheduled to be published on February 15, 1991. Then came Desert Storm in January. All the media's attention turned towards the war, and my book missed its opportunity for its grand entrance. However, I learned an invaluable lesson. If I had not pushed myself and my editor to the limit in order to get the work done, if I had been late in turning in my manuscript, things might have worked out better. There are wise words from the Chinese tradition: human beings' efforts to mold the outcome of a given situation are nothing compared to what heaven can do. These words are no longer just words. Because of the book incident, they have become ingrained in my soul. When things don't turn out as expected, it may be a blessing in disguise. Now, after I have done my best, I relax and watch to see the outcome. Deep down at an unseen level, I know I will never be the same again. To others, I may not look any different, but I know I have gained a unique insight into the dharma of acceptance and surrender. Shortly after this realization, I attended a convention. I was scheduled to speak at 1 in the afternoon to kick off the opening. However, when I got there I discovered that the convention was in total disarray. While I was standing in the hallway for over 45 minutes waiting for the convention staff, To clear up the confusion, a distinguished gentleman passed by me. I recognized him as the president of a large national retail outlet. I had recently been attempting to convince this particular company's buyer to purchase a new patented invention my partner and I had developed. The buyer had been interested but non-committal. The delay caused by the poorly organized convention caused me to be standing in the hallway, which led to my meeting with the chief decision maker of this company. This ultimately resulted in a very financially rewarding situation. Learn the Dharma of acceptance and surrender, because you never know what awaits you in its intricate and mysterious weavings. Predestiny and self-effort. I shared with two people that I was writing a book entitled, Thick Face, Black Heart. On these two separate occasions, immediately following my communications, both asked me, "Do you think life is predestined or the result of self-effort?" Initially, I did not think the question related to the topic of thick face, black heart. However, as it seemed other people thought it should be part of the book, I have decided to include it. Nature equips a bee with everything it needs to fulfill its intended destiny. In the same way, our Maker has provided us with everything we need to achieve our highest potential. It was no accident you were born into your family, received a certain education, and were confronted with certain, unique experiences in life. All these are part of the training necessary to prepare one for a successful journey through life. Let us take a look at two Prime Ministers of Great Britain, John Major and Margaret Thatcher. John Major did not finish high school and Margaret Thatcher was a grocer's daughter. But these apparent disadvantages became important elements which molded their character and distinguished them from the traditional aristocratic politicians. Their humble backgrounds, rather than being a disadvantage, actually contributed to the success of their political popularity. During my first 10 years in the United States, I was caught between two cultures. I was no longer Chinese, nor was I an American. I was like a fish out of water. As time progressed, I began to see that my knowledge and experience of both East and West had become a great asset rather than a liability. Every incident in life, big or small, joyful or painful, occurs not by accident. Our lives are carefully guided by unseen forces that govern and control every aspect of the universe. These mysterious workings are designed to facilitate our personal growth and fulfillment. Each one of us is born into a certain environment in order to fulfill our intended destiny. It is possible that self-effort, which incorporates human will, desire, and ability, are part of predestination. However, this predestiny cannot unfold on its own accord. Even if you know your destiny, it is only as good as the effort you make to bring it to reality. Therefore, predestiny and self-effort become as two wheels of the same cart. Believe it or not, even in ancient China, there is a phrase, "Heaven helps those who help themselves." There is a story of two sons who were born on the same day. One was born into a rich family, the other into poverty. Both mothers took their sons to the same fortune teller in town. The fortune teller told the rich lady that her son would be exalted and would assist the Emperor of China. The poor lady was told her son would be a beggar. Because the rich lady thought her son was going to be important when he grew up, she spoiled him. This resulted in his wasting his life away along with his family's wealth. In the end, his family's own residence was repossessed by the debtor and they were forced out of their home and had to live on the street. On the other hand, the poor lady, terrified by the prophecy, diligently educated her son in an effort to assist him avoid his ill-fated destiny. The son studied relentlessly and excelled through the ancient examination system. He was consequently exalted and assisted the Emperor of China. However, while self-effort is vitally important, some of the undeniable evidence of my own life leaves me unable to totally discount the inexplicable mystery within the concept of predestiny or die existence of fate. Years ago, I took an interest in studying Chinese antique jade artifacts. My teacher is also a renowned Chinese Tao scholar and well-versed in Qing. He did a calculation of my past and future, recounting details which I found very coincidental. My personal chart indicated I was born into a royal family, who lost favor with the new ruler of the land and were sent into exile. These ancient texts were written thousands of years ago. Many concepts, such as royalty and the ruler of the land, have become outdated. However, we still can find an equivalent of those terms in today's world. My family in the early 20th century were the equivalent of royalty, and the communists were the equivalent of the new ruler of the land. My family was exiled to Taiwan. Furthermore, my chart indicated my younger brother would have some of his limbs damaged, and as a consequence, his activities would be restricted. My younger brother in fact contracted polio when he was 10 months old. Although the knowledge of predestination may be an intriguing subject, it has very little use to us without our self-effort, especially as most of the sources who provide the information concerning predestination are questionable and often unreliable. Therefore, self-effort is the only thing that we can count on in our day-to-day lives. The Dharma of self-effort. The following are important factors to the Dharma of self-effort. 1. Quest for harmony. Self-effort does not mean blind effort. The Dharma of self-effort also includes striving to know when to exercise the discrimination of acceptance and surrender to a disappointing outcome. However, this does not mean giving up, but rather finding harmony within oneself in order to regather the necessary strength and move on to the next level of life. 2. Tenacious determination. The American cartoonist and creator of Pogo, Walt Kelly, often said, "We have seen the enemy and he is us." In the battle of life, you are the enemy and you are the warrior. In the battle of life, as long as you are fighting, you are winning. Each day if you fail 100 times but win once, that single win will strengthen you and provide you the strength for the next win. Never let go of your fight. Our Almighty Creator could have fashioned a more gentle, harmonious living environment, yet the world we ended up with obviously delights His heart. God seems to be content with His wholly imperfect world. As I often have said, God is a low achiever. Look what fun He has watching us. As we draw upon all our faculties in an effort to persevere and overcome the obstacles within and around us. 3. There is no quitting. Life is a school. This school does not give out passing grades, but demands a perfect from each student on every subject. You can never quit this school, and this school has no time limit for graduation. You will not graduate until you get it right. If you are a Christian, your schooling might end when you draw your last breath. If you are Hindu or Buddhist, then you will never graduate until you realize your full divinity, and that might take millions of incarnations. God is not democratic. He demands of His children the best they can be. He demands they be like Him, and the cost for failing the courses is your liveliness and happiness. However, as long as you are fighting the battle tenaciously and courageously, the magical, unseen hand of the divine is there to aid. This is not merely rhetoric, but a common experience that many people have found to be true. For all good things come to those who strive with patience. Our sense of self-limitation did not form overnight. Thus, we require patience to readjust our course. A good phrase from the ancient Chinese elucidates this point: dripping water, in time, will cut a hole through the stone. When we were infants, like bees, we were in tune with our natural instincts, we heard only the pure voice from our divine Maker. As we learned the way of men, we adopted their guidance and tuned out the voice of our Maker. Whenever we are willing to listen to the criticism of others, there is never a shortage of volunteers. With self-determination and self-effort, no one can keep you from manifesting your true destiny. The mystery of a towering fruit tree lies dormant within a tiny seed. Be true to your life, true to your desires. Some people are not aware of the importance of searching for and discovering their proper and true role in life. A thick face, black heart practitioner knows the magnitude of this challenge. It is vital to discover what is right for you, and to this end, to be able to put your plans into action, you must follow through with your plans and accept and endure whatever consequences occur. Furthermore, know when to make appropriate adjustments and have the courage to do so as each level of life unfolds and reveals itself. Nita's grief. Nita is a 41-year-old professional single woman working in insurance. Recently she told me about an experience of self-discovery. She had been born into a first-generation Japanese-American family. Her father, with his traditional Japanese attitudes about life, had placed much more importance on his two sons than his daughter. As a result of this, she had developed an unnaturally strong desire to please her father. Consequently, she unconsciously made a decision to gain her father's acceptance by doing highly respected work that was traditionally performed only by Japanese men. She attended law school. She had no love for law. Her real desire was to be a housewife and to have her husband take care of her while she did flower arranging and made ceramics. But she believed that becoming a lawyer was something that would please her father very much. She finished her 3 years in law school. She describes those years as being hell-like, the hardest thing she had ever done. After that, it took work they are performing right now in the context of the bigger picture of their destiny. An employee's dharma. An employee's dharma is simple: support the employer wholeheartedly. Your employer may not be perfect, smart, or worthy of your service, but by your act of working at your particular company, you have entered into an unwritten contract of support. I am a true believer: if you don't like the company you work for, quit your job. But if you choose to stay and draw a payroll check from that company, morally you don't have the freedom to sabotage the company's morale through your constant expressions of dissatisfaction. You are duty-bound to present any constructive suggestions that occur to you. If it is rejected and you feel that you no longer can serve the New York without certain changes being made, then you have the choice to exercise your courage to resign your job. If you wish to remain, then support the company and its management. The choice must always be yours. I watched a client of mine fire one of his engineers, Hank. Hank is at the top of his field in terms of expertise and competence. However, he continually complained about the office and the owner. He even went as far as to make outrageous criticisms of the owner in front of customers. I personally witnessed this incident. I was at a New Year's party. The party host was the president of my client's customer company. Hank attended the party as the representative for my client, his employer. Soon after the party began, Hank started his angry attack of his employer with great passion. This continued for 3 hours. Everyone at the party was embarrassed by his behavior, except Hank. The more he talked, the more emotional he became. After 3 hours of verbal assault, our hostess was very concerned that her husband might jeopardize his professional position by doing business with such a questionable company. Hank's behavior was caused by his lack of inner harmony. Due to his unceasing criticism from within, he was in turn abusive to others. The one who finds fault in others is always first unconsciously finding fault in himself. Hank's mind was out of control. His mind was like an undisciplined dog on a leash. Instead of following the owner, it leads the owner in all directions, yet it has no idea where it is going. It finally makes a victim of its owner. Hank was fired by his previous employer for similar conduct. Hank's behavior may be extreme, but by no means is he an isolated case. I have known so many companies where the employee's favorite pastime is to gather together and criticize the company's management team. In such a situation, the employees victimize themselves as well as the company. Dharma of support. A thick-face, black-heart practitioner understands that the dharma of success includes support. It is essential, if you wish to succeed in life, to find someone who is willing to support you unconditionally in fulfilling your dreams, or realize that you and your mind must form your own support troops. Without support in the tough competitive world of survival, the task of achieving extraordinary success will be inordinately difficult. This is also true for business. Without the support of their employees, it would be difficult to compete in today's fierce market. Summary of key points. 1. According to your life, your duties have been prescribed for you, follow them and your desires will be naturally fulfilled. 2. Many teachers preach that you must do what you love, then you will be very good at your job. This is only part of the story. Most people have not reached a clear state of realizing exactly what they love to do and what they are good at. These people need to go through a period of discovery. 3. By simply being aware that there is a divine plan for your life that awaits to unfold in the course of life itself, you will begin to be consciously in tune with every incident that comes into your professional and personal life. Treat each incident with the eye of a good detective and try to unveil the mystery of your fate. 4. It is impossible to attain true spiritual perfection if you have avoided discovering the path by which you can contribute to society as an individual. 5. Human beings' effort to mold the outcome of a given situation is nothing compared to what heaven can do. When things don't turn out as expected, it might be a blessing in disguise. Understand the wisdom of the Dharma of acceptance and surrender. 6. It is possible that self-effort, which incorporates human will, desire, and ability, is part of predestination, and this predestiny cannot unfold of its own accord. Therefore, predestiny and self-effort become as two wheels of the same cart. 7. Be true to your life, true to your desires. 8. Some people say, if God Himself would just speak to me and let me know what He really wants me to do, I would be delighted to do that, no matter how meaningless and humble the work. In fact, God has spoken many times but they weren't listening. 9. Sometimes people feel whatever the work they are doing, it could not be what God intended for them to do. They blame the work. The missing piece here is not what is wrong with the work they are doing, but rather understanding the relationship between the work they are performing right now in the context of the bigger picture of their destiny. 10. The Dharma of an employee is to support the employee wholeheartedly. If you cannot support the company you work for, quit your job. You don't have the freedom to sabotage the company's morale and reputation through your constant expression of dissatisfaction. 11. By living under the grace and guidance of Dharma, life itself becomes the eternal wish-fulfilling tree. All effort was sacred to him. Between the most negative, foolish, and ignorant of people, and the most positive, confident, self-assured, there lies a space so small that our Maker regards it with a smile. Chin-Ning Chu, inspired by Elizabeth Waterhouse.